Hello and welcome to the Millionaire Faith Show, the testimony of an entrepreneur. And you are here with myself, Dr. Sylvia Jones, the Queen of Vision. And we have with us today a very special guest, Mrs. Wendy Mayo. And she will just be telling you a little bit about her story. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sylvia, for having me. I'm so excited to be on your show. My name is Wendy Garvin Mayo. I am a nurse practitioner by training. I've been in healthcare for over 20 years. When COVID first hit, I was working from home full time doing cancer research. And that is when I launched into entrepreneurship. And my story is that COVID-19 was really a time that shook us up around the world. It shook us personally and professionally. Well, we had some decisions to make. And for me, my decision was really trying to align with my purpose in life. So COVID-19 really, I would say, threw me off track, because prior to COVID-19, I was someone who was very confident, very sure, very certain about what I want and what I'm doing. But COVID-19 really made me question that. And the way I talk about it is that it had me wrestling with my purpose.
Yes.
Because with the pandemic, as you know, it impacted healthcare tremendously, and it still has an impact.
Yes.
And, our nurses, my fellow nurses out there, were on the front lines taking care of these patients despite this virus that was out there killing people, literally putting their lives on the line. So I had some guilt. I had some fear. I had a lot of stress because I was a new mother. I had my newborn son who was about, I don't know, maybe 5 months at the time.
Oh,
We
wow.
married, and here I am being who I am, saying, okay, I should be very happy. I'm a new mom, a new wife, but I was struggling inside.
Yes.
I'm saying I need to be out there. I need to get back to the bedside and take care of my cancer patients.
Yes.
And, I heard the words of my grandfather of, you have to set your sail, right? And those words really propelled me to align with my purpose. And I went back to the bedside.
So you went back to the bedside with COVID. So some people were actually leaving the bedside and you decided to go back. That is extraordinary. Tell us a little bit about this entrepreneurship that you speak of. I have it. It's the stress blueprint. Tell us a little bit about that and how. And I know COVID seemed to be a big impactor here. How was God able to lead you or guide you in that journey to entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so God guided me back to the bedside. And I have to just say that one decision propelled me into entrepreneurship. I was never
Okay.
thought about it. So what happened is I made that one decision to go back to the bedside, and that opened up a whole new world for me, where I started serving on a level I never thought was possible. Because as a nurse, you think, I can just serve patients in the hospital. But going back to the bedside just opened up the floodgates. So I first started my first company, Shape Partners, which I was serving cancer caregivers, because we do a really good job as healthcare professionals to care for the patient, but the cancer caregivers are also impacted by a cancer diagnosis. So I did that, and I was doing programming for them. And then my colleagues who I work with started, supporting me in that endeavor and attending my Wednesdays with Wendy, where I would, provide some tips and advice on stress management. And people, they wanted more. So it transitioned after doing that for almost a year into the Stress Blueprint, where I'm able to provide the same services to a wider array of individuals. So I still service my caregivers. And something that makes the Stress Blueprint very unique is that any profits I make from the Stress Blueprint serves cancer caregivers, because I provide them with free services.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So any
Yes.
profits that you make help to go towards the cancer patients,
The cancer caregivers. So we
the
help
cancer
them
caregivers.
if
Okay.
they need help with paying their co-pays, if they need
Mm.
counseling, whatever they need, we provide that for them. So that's why the Stress Blueprint is a very unique company. And we really promote stress management to individuals and companies and groups through coaching, speaking, and training.
Okay, okay. So on this journey, this sounds just extraordinary, especially the mission and the purpose of the Stress Blueprint, which I wasn't totally aware of, but I'm glad you're bringing that to our audience. What were some of your biggest challenges getting started with all of this?
So it's where to start.
It's a lot to do.
Because, as a nurse and a servant leader, as I call myself, I want to serve everyone, but you have to start somewhere. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
trying to find your niche, right? So when I talk about stress, I mean everyone can relate to that. So I can serve the world, but it's who do you serve? And I came to the realization that you just serve and the people will come.
Mm.
So God will send the right people to you as long as you're aligned. And I always just tell people, as long as you're walking in your purpose, everything that is for you will come to you. As long as you continue to be aligned. And people always say all the time, how do you do so much? And I say, because I'm aligned.
Mm.
I'm aligned and I'm walking in purpose
Aligned.
to have impact in this world.
To
So,
have impact in this world. Almost like Noah, I think of God putting out a call for you. When you get aligned, he'll put out a call for you. The animals came to Noah. He didn't have to go out and wrangle them up and get everything. So that's great that when you're aligned, the Lord will start to send the people that you're supposed to serve. So that is a definitely something to take away from this conversation. So you sound like like I said, I'm a healthcare provider. I'm an eye doctor. So I was on the front lines with COVID as well. A little bit different, but still felt like front line. So tell us a little bit about. I mean, I know you're a nurse. I know you are gifted in those areas. Tell us a little bit about your biggest accomplishment.
So my biggest accomplishment, I would say, is bringing life into this world outside of work.
Girl.
Yeah, so my son is 2, and I just think it's an accomplishment to provide life. It's so every time I look at him, I'm like amazed. That's my biggest accomplishment, I would say, in life in general. Outside of him, I would say, the ability to transform lives, through the work that I'm doing, I'm able to see people transition, align with their purpose and have impact in the world. And I can even cry right now just thinking about it, about the text messages and emails I get just from people saying, thank you so much for providing me with the tools I need. I got a text the other day from one of my clients whose father's in the ICU, and he said, because I went through your program, those tools are keeping my stress levels down at this very moment as he's
Mm.
in New York with his dad who's in the ICU. I mean, and I get emails like that, emails, texts, IMs, DMs, and that is just so it validates, right, that I
Yeah.
am walking in purpose.
Walking in purpose. Oh my. Oh my. When you talk about your son, you're bringing life into the world. A lot of us entrepreneurs are, especially ones who listen to our channel here, are moms. So we have kind of like a few hats that we wear as we go through life and try to seek what God has for us. Tell me just a little bit about how you get that balance as a mom, an entrepreneur, a nurse, and all those other things that we have going on.
Yeah, it's never balanced.
Mm.
It's never balanced. Today you can give a little more here, tomorrow you can give a little more there. But I think what covers all of that is really the support and community.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband is a huge supporter, and he, is really the main reason that I'm able to do so much, as people say. Very supportive, and he pushes me, he supports me. with my son, and because he believes in the vision, right? So
Yes, yes.
I don't think there's ever balance. And, I think we talk about, dimensions of wellness. I think you have to kind of sit and think about where can you provide your 20, 80, or 40% today?
Mm-hmm.
Or what can you leave for tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we put a lot of stress on ourselves when we try to talk about balance, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
And sometimes it feels like you're just what I call a living sacrifice, where you just have to give it, you don't get to keep it, and you got to give 100% that day and just let the Lord fill you back up with
Yes.
his with the only way that he's able to do. So it sounds like you are, and that is the heart of a true servant. We leave it all on the field. We leave it
Yes.
all on the field. So go a little bit into just how did your relationship with God? I always want to know, how did your relationship with God start? I know that as we grow older, we see how it develops and how it comes into us finding our purpose. But there was a time when maybe you didn't know him as well, or you had to actually get at that relationship together. How did that go?
Yeah, so my mother is the one who introduced me to God.
Hallelujah.
As a child, my mom's Catholic. We went to church. And I recall, before, you go to school, I remember this in middle school vividly. She used to make
Hmm.
me read Psalm 23. And,
Okay.
she would go to work before I go to school, and she would call and make sure, like, read the Bible before you go to school. So I grew up with that and going to church with her. And through my life, I knew how powerful God has always been in my life.
Hmm.
And through nursing school, I he was with me. He's the one that got me through. Through my graduate school, he's the one that got me through. Everything I'm doing, I really owe to him. And we just have a personal relationship. And
Hmm.
I thank him for allowing me to be here to serve his people. That's what it's about. We are all God's children. God is within all of us. So when I encounter people, whether it's business or not, I see that in them.
Mm,
I
mm,
definitely see that in them. And that allows me to treat people the way they're supposed to be treated. And I think that is something that's really missing in the world today. People forget that.
mhm.
That's why stress management is very important, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a lot of stress.
but
You picked
but
a
yeah,
good
I've been able to witness the power of God in my life.
time. Yes, yes, yes. And a little bit before, you talked about the vision, like you and your husband being on the same page with this vision. I'm the queen of vision, so I believe in vision. It has just having a vision or being able to see myself beyond where I'm currently at has always been such a big factor in my life. So, how has this vision that God has given you, been able to direct you, lead you, and to get you a little bit further?
Well, I mean, I have the vision. So right now I'm trying to instill or inspire others to see that vision.
Mm,
So I can influence them to mobilize towards that vision, so we can have more impact in the world. So
yes.
what I do because I have the vision. Now I'm to the point now where I want others to help me live out that vision so I can impact more people in the world.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Well, with having that vision, at least gives you well, like you said, a blueprint. Because if you don't have, how can you lead? How can you direct? How can you do any of that if you don't have anything that these people are working towards? So you have, like I said, you have a career, you've had education, you've had entrepreneurship. To our listeners who may be listening, who maybe aren't as far along, or maybe are looking at a career change, what are some of the recommendations that you would have for them?
So my first recommendation is you need a mentor. I think people don't understand or appreciate the power of mentorship. And I don't care where you are in your career. You could be the CEO, C-suite, you could be a business owner. Everyone needs a mentor. And I also think it's important to assess your community. Who's around you? Who do you associate yourself with? I'm sure you hear of power in proximity. There's a lot of
Mhm.
other things that happen in proximity as well. That's not power,
Yes.
right? So I always say, surround the people that's gonna, want you to help illuminate your path or illuminate their path, right? Not dim your light, so to speak.
Mhm.
So I think, collaboration, mentorship is so important. Education, right? Continuing to feed your mind is also important. Understanding your purpose. Because once you understand that, when you get tired and weary, or you encounter those people who want to dim your light, you're going to still keep going. You're not going to give up. So understanding your why.
Your why.
Understanding your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to start this business? And it can't be for monetary gain. That's first and foremost. That can't be your primary reason,
Mhm.
because that will only hold you and take you so far.
Yes, yes, yes. When you say that, I think about Solomon and how he didn't pick money; he picked wisdom, and your purpose. When you move in your purpose, the reward can be financial gain, but the actual purpose itself is not.
Yes, ma'am.
So my Wendy here, thank you so much. Our last question here is, how has this journey of entrepreneurship, this walk with Christ, how has all of this changed you as a person?
It's interesting that you say that, because I have changed because I realized the power that I possess within myself.
Mm,
I am very powerful, not strength wise, but I have power. I possess power that can impact so many lives in this world. And this journey of entrepreneurship has shown me that. And I don't think I know you have power. Anyone who's listening to my voice, Dr. Sylvia definitely has power. So it's really honing in on that power
mm,
and using it to really impact the world, to leave your footprint on the world. And, I say I'm doing what I'm doing now for legacy. It's for my son, right?
mhm.
This is not just, oh, you're walking in purpose and you're doing all these things. Because it's funny, last night I was looking at him and I was saying that you are a brilliant individual and you will change this world. And I want him to really see what I'm doing and really model that in his own lane. But
Yes,
I'm
yes.
able to leave this legacy of everything I'm doing, this interview we're doing. When I'm long gone, he'll be able to look at this and find some power in the words that we're speaking here, right?
Yes, yes.
So that's what I would say to that answer. It's power, it's legacy, and it's impact.
Yes. Well, we were all, and I just keep saying, we were made in the image of God. When you look at us, you should see some reflection of Him. Something should bounce off of us that is a reminder that He exists. And Wendy, I want to say that I see that in you today. I have not talked to you a whole lot. We were in a group together, but I want to tell you that I can feel the anointing of God on your life. I pray over everything that you do, every cancer, every person, every caretaker, every patient, everywhere that you lay your hand. I pray that the Lord would just bless it and prosper it and just give you much health and protect you as you're in the field, and give you much prosperity as He rewards you for the work that you are doing. So, my friend, thank you so much for being on the Millionaire Faith Show. It was an awesome testimony of a beautiful entrepreneur.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Sylvia.
All right, you take care.